What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Clippers star Terrence Mann gives his opinion and his prediction on the Clippers' upcoming season. And, when Terrence Mann speaks on this situation, I feel like he gives a lot of good insight. You can check it out on clutchsports.com. And it definitely gives insight on what the situation is and how good this team could be. I think in Terrence Mann saying that this would be the first time he actually stepped on the court in the beginning of a season with both Kawhi and PG healthy. And he's right. I mean, I can remember when they first started this thing, with Kawhi and PG on the Clippers. The first year, Kawhi played predominantly all that season or most of that season by himself, or at least a little bit more than half the season, until Paul George came back with the shoulder surgery or shoulder injury that he had. And then, they carried into the playoffs. They had to lay off because of the pandemic and everything. And then they, messed up in the bubble. But, the next season they come back, everything's working good, for the most part. There's some injuries here and there. And then Kawhi gets injured in the playoffs. Then this past season that happened, they made it to the play-in tournament and didn't make it any further because both of them were out due to injury, with Kawhi being out the whole year and Paul George being out half of the back end of the season, but came back for a little while until he caught COVID. So, it seems like this team has never been healthy, and that's what Terrence Mann was basically alluding to. This is the first time you get a chance to play with both, starting the season and going out there and really gaining more chemistry, because the problem with this team is the chemistry is not as good as it can be because of injuries and, of course, of the acquisitions of the few new players that they acquired. And, Robert Covington and Norman Powell, and then they got some other pieces now along with John Wall. So the chemistry is definitely not where it could be with this team. So they have to really work their way and build themselves up to get there as quickly as they can. And hopefully by the duration of the season, or by the end of this upcoming season that they have before them, they'll be gain enough chemistry so they can take it into the playoffs and try to really make that run, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be very, very tough. Terrence Mann speaks on also how the West is so stacked like it was back in the day, and he even says in his statement that even if you play OKC, they got Shai every night. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And he can, he's definitely has the green light on that team. He definitely can drop big numbers. Josh Giddey is pretty decent. Chet Holmgren looks like, to some people, he looks like he's going to be really good. I'm not sure just yet. I have to wait and see about a year or two, a couple years of his gameplay for me to really analyze it. But Summer League, he looks good, so far, but that's Summer League. But at the same time, the West is definitely stacked, and I definitely agree with Terrence Mann. And when asked the question about, the Clippers winning the championship, Terrence Mann spoke on that and said he definitely agrees. Which, of course, that doesn't surprise anybody, because, the Clippers definitely should be the favorite to win it. Based upon all the pieces that they have, and, how much versatility they have, and how great of a player Kawhi Leonard is in carrying a team. And the fact that his sidekick is Paul George, who can fill up a stat sheet and score with the best of them himself, and who's been in, MVP conversations before in his career, and, been in MVP votings and everything. So he's definitely a star player in his own right as well. And like I said, the fact that they got so much depth in every other position, and the fact that they got Ty Lue as a head coach. You bottle all that together and combat all that together. This team is very, very, very prepared for anything thrown at them. And like I said, when you look at this team, one thing they are definitely amongst a lot of other teams, they're battle tested. Last year showed how battle tested they are. They went a whole season without Kawhi, half a season without Paul George, and still made a play-in tournament and almost got a 6th seed over Denver to get into the playoffs. If they would have won maybe their last 4 out of 5 games or 5 out of 6 games, they would have probably got the 6th seed. So it just shows how good they are as a team, how they play together, and how they fight every night, and how they have each other's back, and they play for one another on the court. And the chemistry they do have, it may not be the greatest, but it's good enough to really win a championship. I mean, if you ask me, hopefully John Wall can come in and really add to what they have and not regress what they have in regards to the point guard position, which is very huge for them going forward, because that point guard position can make Kawhi and PG's life a lot easier, less scoring on them at times, where they can take nights off and don't really have to put up a lot of points. And like I said, it gives them a third scoring option that is solidified in John Wall, if he can come back the way, or at least somewhat the way he was before, he had all those injuries and, kind of just had a bad, experience with Houston. So, I mean, there's a lot of good for the Clippers, a lot of good going their way right now, a lot of good in their favor. They just have to, live up to it, and living up to it, I think, is going to be the hardest part, because their biggest Achilles heel, of course, has been health. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, even the year they lost in the bubble against Denver, they didn't really have no chemistry like that. I mean, like I said, Paul George didn't really play a lot of that season. Kawhi started out, on fire that season, and then the pandemic happens and all this other stuff. They never really had a chance to build the chemistry the way I thought they could have or should have, because of whether due to injury or just, something holding them back, whatever the case may be. But they didn't build it the way I thought they should have. So, we're going to see, if they can try to build this in an 82-game season and take it into the playoffs and go against that tough Western Conference, because it is going to be tough. I mean, you got the Warriors, you got a young team in Minnesota, you got a young team in Memphis, the Suns, I'm not too big on them, but they still were the number one seed last year. They still are a good team, at least regular season. And, like I said, it's just gonna be tough for them, and like I said, the West is not getting easier. Luka is gonna be better, what I'm saying? It's just tough. The West is as stacked as I've seen it in a long time. So I definitely agree with Terrence Mann on that, and I'm definitely waiting to see, how the Clippers look in regards to their lineups, and how Ty Lue's gonna interchange the lineup, because Ty Lue likes to experiment with his lineups, of course. So I want to see how he intertwines his lineup, make changes, and who really would be the starting five for the playoffs when the next season happens, and all those things. So we're anticipating a lot. We're anticipating the start of the season to see what they all look like, how they gel, and what can be done, what adjustments will be made during the season to make them an ultimate factor of winning that championship, what makes them the ultimate, choice to winning that championship. So, I mean, it's a lot that's going to go in the next season. This is probably the biggest season for everybody on the Clippers. You see what I'm saying? As just a team that's built to win a championship for the last 4 seasons. It didn't get done due to injury and other things, but this is their season to me. This is their season to at least bare minimum make the finals. Because, I mean, they have to at least bare minimum make the finals. I mean, it's just really no other way. They have to at least bare minimum do that. So I want to see, how they build. And my main thing is I want to see, John Wall go in there and play at a high level. Because if he does, I'm telling you, he's going to take a lot of pressure off Kawhi and PG, where they don't have to have a lot of, big scoring nights. They can kind of just chill with 22 points, 23 points, something like that, and sit out the rest and rest a little bit, take it to the next game. That's what they need. They're going to need to try to coast through the season, but also build chemistry at the same time. If they can do that, then they have a chance to go really far in the playoffs and take the world by storm by winning a championship, possibly. So it's going to be a lot of obstacles. It's going to be a lot of speed bumps, but the Clippers are built. They're really built to do it, and I don't know. Of course, we all don't know if they will, because we have to see it to believe it. We have to see it actually in action. We have to see it actually happen for them to win the championship or make it to the finals. But they definitely got all the pieces they need. I mean, if you don't have all the pieces you need with this team, I don't know if any team could really win it. Now, I will say this. They can add another big man. As I said before, I'm sticking beside my statements. I'm standing on that. You gotta, depth in that center position is huge, but they do got a point guard. They do got a lot of versatility. They got, to me, the best player in the league when healthy in Kawhi. They got a star player in Paul George, a lot of good pieces around them. And like I said, they got, to me, arguably the best head coach in the league. So, I mean, with all that together, and then you got Jerry West, the people over them. I mean, just the whole operation looks good on paper. So the product on the floor has to look the same. So hopefully they can, piece it all together and just stay healthy. That's my main thing with the Clippers. Stay healthy and see where it takes you. That's my main thing with them. So if they can do that, I think if they stay healthy, the chemistry will come. With chemistry, there's a great possibility of a championship. So hopefully that's in their favor. Hopefully the stars are aligned for them that way, because I like to see them, do the unthinkable. I like to see them take it the distance when you hear all these haters talk about them or naysayers speak about them. I like to see them shut all their naysayers up, So maybe this is the year of the underdog. We'll have to see. And if it is, I do believe the underdog will be the Clippers if they find themselves winning the championship. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.